Welcome to right-of-way test. At this intersection without priority signs, observing the position and trajectory of the vehicles, which one will cross the intersection first? A1, B2, C3. The answer is C3. Vehicle 3 goes first because it has no vehicles on its right at the assigned intersection. The other vehicles must yield according to the general right-of-way rule. When turning to enter another road and finding pedestrians crossing it, even if there is no crosswalk, what must the driver do? A. Ignore pedestrians if there's no crosswalk. B. Yield to the pedestrian. C. Stop only if there is a marked crosswalk. The answer is B. Yield to the pedestrian. Drivers must yield to pedestrians crossing when turning into another road, even if there is no marked crosswalk. You must slow down and stop if necessary to ensure the safety of these road users. When approaching a domestic animal crossing properly marked with the cañada panel, what behavior must a driver adopt? A. Reduce speed and be ready to stop. B. Continue without stopping if no animals are visible. C. Only slow down if police are present. The answer is A. Reduce speed and be ready to stop. Drivers have the right-of-way except on signaled cattle tracks where animals have priority. You must reduce speed and be prepared to stop to yield to them. Even if you have the right-of-way, what must you do if you foresee that you might get stopped in the middle of an intersection, obstructing cross-traffic? A. Proceed and pull aside if needed. B. Do not enter the intersection. C. Proceed because you have priority. The answer is B. Do not enter the intersection. Do not enter an intersection or pedestrian crossing if you risk getting stuck and blocking cross traffic. Wait before the intersection until there is enough space on the other side to clear it completely. If you perceive the special signals of a priority vehicle in emergency service, what behavior must you adopt? A. Move to the right or stop if necessary to facilitate its passage. B. Accelerate to clear the road as quickly as possible. C. Ignore the signal if they are not blocking its path. The answer is A. Move to the right or stop if necessary to facilitate its passage. Priority vehicles in emergency service have the right-of-way. Drivers must facilitate their passage by moving to the right or stopping if necessary. When turning left to enter a new road, you see pedestrians crossing the carriageway, even though there is no crosswalk. What must you do? A. Yield only if there is a crosswalk. B. Go first because you have priority. C. Yield because they have priority. The answer is C. Yield because they have priority. Drivers must yield to pedestrians when turning into another road, even if there is no marked crosswalk. Pedestrian safety takes priority during changes of direction. When driving on an emergency call, how must the light signaling of priority vehicles be? A. Flashing or rotating lights. B. Fixed lights on top of the vehicle. C. Lights that turn off every 5 minutes. The answer is A. Flashing or rotating lights. Priority vehicles indicate emergency services using flashing or rotating blue lights. This light signal can be used alone or combined with sirens to grant them the right of way. In this unmarked intersection, and considering the trajectory of the vehicles, what is the correct order of passage? A2, 3, 1. B1, 2, 3. C2, 1, 3. The answer is A2, 3, 1. Vehicle 1 moves to the center to turn left, but must yield, allowing Vehicle 2 to pass first and Vehicle 3 second. Finally, Vehicle 1 completes its turn in last place. What special precaution must priority vehicle drivers consider when driving on emergency service? A. They can ignore any rules. B. They should try not to interfere with right-of-way at junctions. C. They must obey traffic lights. The answer is B. They should try not to interfere with right-of-way at junctions. Priority vehicles on emergency service may exempt themselves from certain rules but must avoid endangering others. At intersections, they must slow down and confirm that other drivers have yielded before crossing. At an unmarked intersection, which vehicle will cross the intersection second according to the general right-of-way rule? A1, B2, C3. The answer is C3. In unmarked intersections, the right-hand rule applies. The crossing order is Vehicle 1, followed by Vehicle 3, and then Vehicle 2. How must drivers of priority vehicles warn of their presence when driving on urgent duty? A. Only with the acoustic signal. B. With both acoustic and visual signals. C. Only with hazard warning lights. The answer is B. With both acoustic and visual signals. Priority vehicles must use both the blue light and the siren simultaneously to signal their presence. Exceptionally, they may omit the siren if it is not strictly necessary and poses no danger to others. In this unmarked intersection, which vehicle will cross second applying the general priority rule? A1, B2, C3. The answer is B2. Without signs, right-of-way is given to the vehicle on the right. The crossing order is the truck, followed by the violet car, and then the white car. Pedestrians shall have the right-of-way over vehicles when A. They walk on an urban street. B. They walk on the roadway. C. They get off a bus at a marked stop and are between the bus and pedestrian area. The answer is C. They get off a bus at a marked stop and are between the bus and pedestrian area. Pedestrians have priority when boarding or alighting from public transport at a marked stop. This right-of-way applies only to the area between the vehicle and the nearest sidewalk or refuge. In what order must the vehicles proceed through this intersection if there are no priority signs? A2, 1, 3. B3, 2, 1. C1, 3, 2. The answer is B3, 2, 1. The passing order is 3, 2, 1 according to the general rule of yielding to the right. Vehicle 3 proceeds first as its right is clear, followed by Vehicle 2, and then Vehicle 1. What does this danger sign indicate when placed on a properly marked livestock trail, Canada? A. You may encounter free-roaming animals. B. You may encounter farm animals that have priority. C. You may encounter farm animals without priority. The answer is B. You may encounter farm animals that have priority. Indicates danger due to domestic animals crossing. Animals have priority if the sign is accompanied by a cañada panel, in which case drivers must yield. Observing the signs in the image, what is the correct order of passage for the vehicles at this intersection? A. 1, 3, 4, 2. B. 1, 4, 3, 2. C. 3, 1, 4, 2. The answer is A. 1, 3, 4, 2. Vehicles 1 and 3 cross first because they are on the priority road, with 1 preceding 3. Then the secondary road vehicles follow, where motorcycle 4 has priority over tractor 2 by applying the right-hand rule. When joining traffic from a garage or private driveway onto a public road, what obligation does the driver have regarding right-of-way? A. Yield to both pedestrians and vehicles circulating on the public road. B. Yield only if there are no traffic signs granting priority. C. Yield only to pedestrians, since vehicles must adjust their speed. The answer is A. Yield to both pedestrians and vehicles circulating on the public road. When exiting private property, you must always yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and vehicles on the public road. This rule applies automatically and does not require a specific traffic sign. Upon arriving at an intersection regulated by a yield sign, what is the driver obliged to do? A. Only stop if someone is coming from the left. B. Yield to vehicles traveling on the right-of-way. C. Pass if there are no pedestrians. The answer is B. Yield to vehicles traveling on the right-of-way. You must yield to vehicles approaching from both sides of the intersecting road. A complete stop is only mandatory if it is necessary to let other users pass. If a vehicle is leaving an unpaved path to join a public road, how must it proceed? A. Yield and drive at a speed that allows stopping instantly. B. Accelerate to reach road speed. C. Yield only to those approaching from the right. The answer is A. Yield and drive at a speed that allows stopping instantly. Vehicles on paved roads have priority over those coming from unpaved paths. You must yield to all road users when joining from a dirt track and maintain a very moderate speed. If an ambulance driver is traveling on urgent service, can they disregard traffic rules and signals without restrictions? A. No, they must always respect right-of-way and take extreme precautions. B. Yes, they can ignore all signs. C. Only if other users automatically yield. The answer is A. No, they must always respect right-of-way and take extreme precautions. Priority vehicles on urgent service may bypass traffic rules under their responsibility if they signal their presence and avoid danger. They must always obey police orders and ensure other users have yielded before crossing intersections. I hope this review was helpful. Remember to visit dintratus.com to practice with thousands of updated questions. Good luck with your exam.